Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Automotive Insight. Today we've got my brother's 2007 Toyota Tundra. It's got a check engine light on, so let's get to it. Alright, got our scan tool hooked up to it, the King Bowling K7. We're going to do an auto scan on this thing and see what codes it's got. Go ahead and do a full health check on it just to cover our bases. So that's fine there. Let's go see what we got going on here in the ECM. Large evap leak. Alright, so let's get to it. Obvious thing we look for first is gas cap. It felt good, it was on. I don't think that's the problem. I am catching a whiff of fuel right now, so let's go underneath it and take a look at it. Alright, so that didn't take long. This is what we're working with here. This is textbook rodent damage. In all likelihood, it is squirrel damage. For everybody who thinks squirrels are cute, they are simply rats with good PR. So this line goes all the way over to the top of the tank. This line is actually made into the tank. So the correct fix for this is to put a tank in this. We're going to see if we can't maybe try to fix it. So if it doesn't work, it's going to need a tank anyway, but let's attempt a fix before we put a tank in it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pair of PEX cutters. I'm going to come find a good spot on it. I want to leave as much of the actual line on as I can. I think that looks okay. Come back just a little bit. Alright, and we'll cut another, well, before I get too much further, let me see if I'm going to be able to put a barb in there or not. So with this off, I'm going to work on getting this evap line off here with the canister. So here's our damage section here. The plan is this is some 3/8. This is just like a union or a coupler. Fits halfway decently into here. Not sure how well it's going to fit in the corrugated section of it. But what I'm going to go do is I'm going to run to the hardware store, try to find another one of these in a brass version. Be nice if I could get it to be about this long in between here, but the plan is I'm going to heat this up a little bit, thread it into each side, and then put like a PEX style crimp on either side, and then we'll see if that works or not. And here we are at one of the finest auto parts store suppliers around, Lowe's. Alright, so we're back from Lowe's. Couple different options here. This is like a nylon barbed style, and it fits pretty well in here, and I could definitely force it in and clamp it and it would work fine. However, It's a fair bit harder to get on the other side, the corrugated side, and there's very little play. We cut out roughly an inch worth of that hose that was damaged. So, push comes to shove, we'll come back to this, but I think I'm going to go with my original plan, which is to heat this up. They didn't have it in brass. This is galvanized, so in theory it shouldn't rust and it should be fine. But I'm going to heat this up, thread it into here, and then put this on it and crimp it, and then we'll go back to the car and we'll do the same thing on the other side, and we'll check it from there. Alright, so this is what we got. I can't twist this thing at all. I have stuck my finger in here and sucked and blew on this. I don't have any leaks that I can detect from this side, so I think this is going to work. Now we're going to go do the same thing on the other side, and we'll see if that works. Alright, so this is what we're left with. I can't twist either of these, so I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about this. I got this lubed up with some synthetic grease. Try to get it back on here. Alright, so let's run an evap test. I'd be willing to bet, well, I'll bet any amount of money we're not going to have a P0455 anymore. We might have a P0456, small leak, but no way to tell until we do it. Well, I guess there is a way to tell. We could smoke it, but I'm just going to let the truck run a test, and we'll see if this fixes it or not. Alright, so now it's time to see if we got it fixed, so let's go ahead and clear this. We'll make sure it's actually gone. No trouble codes, alright. Alright, so to run our test, we'll go into special functions. We'll go into evap system check. Alright, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be watching this vapor pressure. So, the way that this test works is it has a reference leak check that it does. That's a 0.002 leak, and then it'll check the tank. So we're going to watch what this reads during part 1. Then during part 2, we're going to see if it goes below that in vacuum, then we know that we're pretty darn good. So let's go from there. Alright, so we are down to negative 0.36. So that's what our 0.002 leak is. So we will go ahead and go on to testing the tank part. Now this is going to take a while for it to drop, so I might just cut you out until we get down to what we were before. Luckily, this car's got a relatively close to full tank. Alright, so the camera just timed out right as we were hitting it, but we were officially lower than our 20 thousandths reference, so that's great, which means in all likelihood we are in the clear. I'm going to let it go down a little bit further, and we'll move on to the next step. right, I'm happy with that. Purge valve is open right now. All right, so at this point, our purge is closed, our vent is closed, our vacuum pump is on, and my glass is overheated, but I've been here for quite a long time. We are maintaining this vacuum, which means this car is fixed. I am happy. So let's move on. Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap this one up. So some of you are probably asking, why didn't you put a tank in it? Or they sell the nylon fuel line repair kits. That hose size ended up being a 5/8, and I couldn't find anything in the form of any type of repair kits for something that was that big. If you have one, or if you know of one, let us know down in the comments, because I'll happily pick one up. But I just couldn't find anything. So the thought process was, what's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to need a tank. Well, it needed a tank anyway. So turns out that worked fine. Now, I don't know how long-term this will be. I would imagine it'll probably be fine. A couple things that I didn't mention, when I crimped those, I did it while it was still warm, so that hopefully the plastic was still fairly pliable. And yeah, it ended up working. I realized that I may not have been talking and describing a ton when I was doing the Evap testing. That's for a couple reasons. I am used to Toyota TechStream or GTS. The units are different, and we can graph them, and it's way easier for me to see on the Toyota side what it's doing than just looking at numbers and commands. But ultimately what it does is it does the reference check first. So it's a 20 thousandths reference check. Then it tests the tank, and it'll pull that down. So you want that, if you're looking at a graph, it would pull the reference down, and then when it pulls the tank and stuff down, it'll go below the reference, meaning that it's pulling more vacuum, and then it'll hold it for a while, and then it'll let it back up, and normally it'll do another reference check. This was a little bit different, so I was kind of trying to just watch what it was doing and try to figure out what it wanted to do. But ultimately, it pulled down lower than the 20 thousandths reference, and then in step 5, it was holding. I had that screen on for 4 or 5 minutes, and it didn't budge in a vacuum, which means we don't have a leak anywhere. So, not a knock on the K7. None of the scan tools do what TechStream and GTS does. That's just the nature of the beast. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap this one up for today. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up from you. Let us know what you think down in the comments section. We have new content for you every single week, so consider subscribing to the channel. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.